I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go home.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet,
Just knock it off, you scum bucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to make stand.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about you.
Happy days.
It's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those days.
The weekend comes, let's not go home. Ready to make stand. These days.
Feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. 'Cause right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
And if my day keeps going this way, I just might.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 226 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. How's everyone doing this fine Monday evening? As you can see, I have my guest, well, not guest, but I have my companion who will appear on the show from time to time, Otis. He's literally just sitting. He was supposed to be sitting on this side of the couch, but of course he's being completely awkward. I don't know what he's up to. So I don't know if he's maybe trying to hump my arm as per usual or what, but he's definitely looking at me weird. So Otis, do not dare think what I'm thinking what you're going to do. Stop it. Anyways, how's everyone doing? My hair's still completely messed up. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see who's in the chat. Joey, how are you? William Wallace 2, Sandra Spicy Spanish Salami Sandwich, and Tight Scotsman. How you guys doing? Thank you very much for watching. 9 people watching at the moment, which is really good to see. Thank you very much, Joe Marsh, for sharing the stream. Also, I was surprised to see the stream was shared on the official Patriotic Alternative Telegram page, which I was quite surprised of, because when was the last time they actually shared my stream on that Telegram page? It was actually quite a while back ago, but hey, it's there, so excellent. Hopefully more people will come aboard. So 10 people watching, which is really good to see. Just real quick, I'm just gonna get this banner up here. Now I might do the stream tonight for about maybe an hour or so, but we'll see in a moment when it comes to that. And a little bit of an update in terms of future guests on the show. I have asked a couple of people. Now, I'm not going to mention who exactly, of course. I want it to be a bit of a surprise, either just before the show goes live or maybe the day before the show goes live, and then, of course, the big reveal, sort of. But I've not had a response from them as of yet, but hopefully I should hear back from them at some point. So it's a case of let's wait and see, shall we? Let's wait and see. So based in Scotland, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming on to the show. Of course, watching it, shared on Facebook and Twitter. Not bad, just for back from Hawick earlier. Fair enough. And also a big shout out to based in Scotland, who has a new hat called "Make Aberdeen Great Again," which I do agree with, of course. So yeah, shout out to her new hat. So there we go. Let me guess, it's Joe Marsh. It's not Joe Marsh, no. Although funnily enough, he did ask me. Because what was it? He asked whether or not he was a bit surprised I was going to be streaming tonight, and I said, yeah, I'm planning on streaming twice per week, or at least go back to that regime type of thing, or is it regiment or whatever that scheduling, I guess you want to call it, but we'll see when it comes to that fact. So yeah, we're here. We are here. I don't know what you're up to, but he's just chilling. He's just chilling at the moment. Yeah, he should be maybe going onto this part here of the couch, but and maybe sleeping a little bit because he normally does that. Like he just chills out for like from time to time. So I'm gonna get this up here real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Should be, oh, there it is, right. So if you're based in Scotland, if you're a nationalist or want to become an activist or want to get involved in some way, you can contact myself through the Patriotic Alternative Scotland email address, which is right there, which is scotland@patrioticalternative.org.uk. Alternatively, you can go on to the PA official website, and I think the page Get Involved, and then you go through there type of thing. So, but if you want to get involved, that's where to do it, basically. Black Picture Build, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. All right, so another thing to mention as well. Oh yeah, one last thing before we get into the show itself. If you want to support the show in any way by sending maybe a couple of quid here and there, my PayPal link is just up there and also down below in the description. Any donation, and that's probably the only best thing to do at the moment if you want to send a donation, because my buy me a coffee, not buy me a coffee. Yeah, is it buy me a coffee? My alternative donation link, there's something up with it for some reason. There's a bit of a delay when it comes to the receiving payments type of thing. So I don't know what's up with that. But saying that, if you want to send a donation to support me and support the show, PayPal would probably the best option when it comes to that fact. So, and if you do send in a donation through there, that would be great. And I would greatly appreciate that if you can. So, anyways, let me just have a quick check and see my phone if anything came up. 1 second, because I do have something to talk about for tonight's episode. And like I said, it's not going to be relatively long. It's going to be for about an hour or so, but we'll see. We shall see. Anyways, that's up to date with all of that just now. Let me just get this banner up here. Of course, follow me on other platforms like X and on Telegram if you can. Well, if you haven't followed me already, and if you're on those platforms, that would be great. With Telegram, it is Chief Moody official Telegram page or something to that line, where it's called. Definitely follow me on there. Black Pigeon Pilled reads, my brother asked, what mic are you using? Respect me, coming through loud and clear. That's actually a good question. In fact, let me just have a quick look and see the microphone itself, because it is, I don't think it was an expensive microphone, at least from where I lived. Let me just double check that for you, because at the time, prior to this, I had a Blue Snowball microphone. And it was all right for the most part, or at least it was definitely one of the best microphones I had. But it was at that point I wanted to get myself like a new microphone when it comes to that. So let me see if I can find it here. I can't remember the. This is going to drag the show, isn't it, when it comes to it? So. Start breaking up after you said that. Damn it. I don't know if it's maybe the internet connection when it comes to it. I think it should be fine now. I think I found the microphone in question, the one I'm using at the moment. So if I get the page up here just now, it's called, and I'm going to butcher the name, it's called Aokio AK60 microphone, like USB streaming podcast. So it's basically that essentially. What I'll do is I'll post the link in the, well, even though it's the UK link, but that's the microphone that I'm using at the moment in terms of to replace the Blue Snowball. So Black Pigeon Pilled, if your brother is looking to get a microphone or anything like that at all, that's the one I'm currently using. It is a really good microphone. I would advise to maybe increase the microphone volume when you get onto StreamYard. Because I've had this microphone according to Amazon since 2023. It's like almost 2 years later, I finally figured out the volume adjustment systems with that, which is quite shocking to say the least. Let me just post a link in the chat for you just now. 1 sec. There we go. Right, so that way Black Pigeon Pill, you can have a look. Now, of course, again, that's the UK version for the website. Of course, I'm sure it will appear on the American. Well, if you're an American, I don't know if you are when it comes to that, but it's there, basically. So there you go. Right, let's have a... Oh, 1 second. Another question for Black Pigeon Pill. What's your thoughts on Reform UK Party candidate for Lincoln being a black woman? Isn't that just establishment trolling? I mean, is anyone really that surprised at this point? Because the Reform Party or Reform UK, I mean, it's just another SIFNAT type of political establishment, isn't it? It's no any different than, say, UKIP or I'm trying to think, like, there's Reform, there's UKIP. Was there not like another party that's similar to theirs? Anyways, the point being is that it's another SIFNAT group, and it's not really that much of a surprise, really, is it? Although saying that, in terms of like if people are interested in getting to the polling station to cast their votes or whatever, I would probably say the best bet in terms of like part of the Overton window shifting for the normie crowd or whatever, probably the best bet would be Reform UK. But yeah, it's not. It's like the lesser of two evils type of idea. It's like it's not great, but it's probably the best option at the moment. So, anyways, is it establishment trolling? I mean, again, it's not that much of a surprise if that were to be the case. So, let's have a gander at this first topic, and then this is probably the only topic to cover. And then once we've done that, we'll then get into the Q&A section. Let's see here from Joe. Joey, how you doing? I'll just answer this question real quick. So, I'll just pop up on the screen. Would you vote Homeland if you had a candidate in your area? No, I wouldn't. To be honest, that's just me. I'm just being blunt and honest when it comes to that. If there was a candidate from the Homeland Party who was in my area, I would not vote for them. I would not vote for them when it comes to that. Seems like they have a lot of good people, but don't see them getting anywhere in elections. I mean, I don't want to cause a bit of drama, and when it comes to it, but again, I'm someone who is very blunt and honest when it comes to certain things. It just seems to me that the Homeland Party is either a patriotic alternative 2.0 or a cuckold patriotic alternative. But that's just my opinion when it comes to it. Some people will agree, others may not agree, and that's fine. That's just my honest to God opinion when it comes to that fact. So there we go. I hope that answers your questions with that. Anyways, let's move on from there to the first topic at hand. I do have it readily available, which is from an article by the Daily Mail. Now, the Daily Mail, I know, is not exactly the best British publication here in Britain, but in terms of the topic we're discussing, and I think even Dankula also covered it as well, but we'll have a look at this together because it's pretty, it's pretty interesting to say the least. And my internet should be all right. Yeah, Daily Mail is though. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the worst. And there's a snoring again. I think that's what comes to it. So nothing worse than fake opposition. Yeah, I know. It's very cancerous to say the least with that. So right. So let's have a look at this article. I'm sure some of you might have seen this article already, but we'll have a look at this together. So. Anyways, fury as trans police officers will be allowed to strip search women, which, oh dear, it's quite concerning, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. Police chiefs were last night accused of taking leave of their service, leave of their senses over new guidance on transgender officers carrying out strip searches. Proposals drawn up by the National Police Chiefs Council, or NPCC for short, would allow intimate body searches of women be carried out by biological males identifying as female, so long as they hold a certificate recognizing their new gender. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, we're such a fucking joke of a country, aren't we? It's just, I know it's part of the overall agenda, but it's just, oh, man, this is, I guaranteed like it's not going to go well. I guaranteed something will come out badly out of this. When will that happen? I don't know, but I would imagine sometime because of this coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if something bad would happen after this when it comes to that. So I hope not, but with the current situation just now, like something's going to happen with that. So. Anyways, continuing on from there. Meanwhile, the guidance also features a reference to dealing with the use of any prediction of I'm going to butcher the word. Sorry, prejudicial language by detainees who refuse to be examined by a trans officer. So basically, it's completely mandatory to be strip searched by these types of officers. Like, and if you say anything against it, then of course you're a transphobe. Like, you just can't win. You cannot win by any means, can you? Holy shit! It comes after the NPCC last year withdrew its policy allowing biological males identifying as female to intimately search women. But under the proposed new guidance seen by the Mail, forces would be advised that trans officers can still strip search people of their newly acquired gender if they have relevant documentation. The proposed new policy, which will be considered by police chiefs next month, would allow a trans employee to search in line with their gender recognition certificate. Another force, British Transport Police, already has similar guidance in place and is currently facing the this is the word I keep butchering on for some reason. Judicial review by women's rights groups over the policy. Maya, I think it's Maya or whatever. Fuck, I can't speak tonight. Forstater, chief executive of Sex Matters, said, paying £5 for a piece of paper from the government doesn't turn a police officer, into a female one, any more than wearing a dress or putting on lipstick would. Let's see. We regard this guidance as a serious breach of the fundamental rights of female detainees. The document titled Searching by Transgender Employees of the Police Service says that the previous policy was withdrawn after the Equality Human Rights Commission advised it was unlawful. Under the proposed new guidance, trans officers without a GRC would be exempt from searching detainees with agreement from their force. Meanwhile, under the old policy, detainees who objected to being searched by a trans officer could have their refusal recorded as a non-crime hate incident. See, I knew it. It's going to be mandatory. So if you step out of line and if you refuse to be strip searched by a trans officer, then then you're going to be a part of what it's going to be put on your supposed criminal record for what. Okay, let me start over. It's going to be recorded as another hate speech incident, right? It's or non-crime hate incident, quote unquote. Wow. However, this has now been amended to allow detainees to request a search by an officer of their own gender, although forces will still give consideration to the manner in which the detainee objects to the search. The proposed policy adds that any prejudicial language should be dealt with positively, which former officers say would still allow forces to record non-crime hate incidents. Kathy Larkman, a retired police officer with over 30 years of experience, said the reference to positive action means that officers must take action if a woman calls that male officer a man, including a potentially recording a non-crime hate incident. Ms. Larkman, who is the policing lead for the Women's Rights Network, said, this new guidance shows yet again that senior police leaders in this country are entirely captured by gender ideology and have taken leave of their senses. Their desperation to bring in opposite sex strip searching, despite all objections, and now having to acknowledge that their previous guidance was not lawful, verges on the fanatical. Anyways, so I think that's about is there actually more to the article? I mean, there's a little bit left here. We'll just finish it off here. She added, the chief constables of the UK need to bear in mind that their roles as police officers is to protect the public and enforce the law. It is not to act as agents of radical social change. I mean, you're trying to implement all this stuff anyway, so you technically are trying to enact like some kind of radical social change when you're actually doing that. I mean, the fact that it's now coming to the point where if you're a woman and you refuse to be strip searched by a trans officer, that's going to be recorded as a non-crime hate incident. So it's like a no-win situation with that. So what can you do? An NPCC spokesman said, we have been conducting a review of the national guidance on custody searches carried out by transgender officers and employees. This review has been informed by colleagues across policing and partner organizations, community groups and associations, and with extensive legal advice. Chief constables will be reviewing and discussing the proposed changes in the next few weeks. And that is the end of that article. Let's have a look and see some of the comments come in. This one, no. Any woman subjected to an intimate search by a biological man should have grounds for a sexual assault charge. After that, they should be able to sue the police force for allowing and permitting it to happen. Another one from Margaret Coyle. Is the same person? Yeah. Fine. Then I hope the police are ready for sexual assault charges being brought against their officers. Dennis Bennett writes, then the police wonder why they are so disliked and distrusted by the population. This must not be allowed to happen. Ladies, if you refuse it, it can only be classified as a non-crime hate incident. So in other words, a total waste of time. So, and that's that. That is that with the article. Let's see. What to do is, if you guys want to, I don't know why, but just in case, if you want to have the article for yourselves, there's the link for it there. Joe Marsh and Chaz Smash, how you guys doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. Is there anyone I've missed actually when it comes to it? Space, how you doing? I don't think I've seen you before, but I like let's see. All right, okay. Well, thank you very much for watching the show when it comes to that. Let me see. All right, let's have a look and see here with that. So, Miss Tuesday, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. That's pretty much that when it comes to the topics. I was expecting that to be like a lot more. When it comes to that fact, but that was literally the only article I can actually find, or at least something that was interesting to talk about for tonight's episode. But we're not finished, of course, just yet. I think what we'll do for the remainder of the show, because like I said, I was going to do the show for about an hour or so, but we'll just do the last half an hour for, of course, the Q&A section. And I really need a damn haircut at some point. There we go. There's a Q&A. Ask your question in the chat. So at this point in the show, if you have a question to ask me, please feel free to ask me in the chat. Just pop in at Chief Moody and then fire away with your questions. We already have a couple of questions that came through. Actually, no, about 3 or 4 or something like that earlier at the start of the show. So we'll continue on from there when it comes to the questions. So if you have a question to ask me, please feel free to ask me in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. And also, again, if you want to send in a donation through my PayPal, the link is just up there and down in the description down below, just in case if it's not appearing on as a pinned comment up there for whatever reason. But if you want to send a donation or two through my PayPal, you can do so if you so choose to. Any donation received would greatly be beneficial with that. So I'll just wait for the comments to come through. And if you can hear snoring in the background, that is that's my dog Otis sleeping in the background. So, but he's just chilling out. Can Europeans defend themselves without USA? Oh, that's a good question. In my opinion, I don't think they really can. I mean, I want to say yes, but because of the way things are at the moment in terms of people's views and the way people act and all of that. I don't think the European if there was a massive war that broke out within Europe, I don't think the Europeans would be able to manage themselves. We all know for a fact that the foreigners who come here would instantly not bother participating or even go back to their country of origin. But when it comes to the Europeans, they're just going to be screwed at the end. And when it comes to the Americans, I mean, I think it's a case they actually do need the Americans' help with that. So, but I hope that answers the question with that. So, defend against who though? I think that just depends, because ever since that whole talks with Zelensky and Trump and JD Vance, is it, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the European countries, of course, were on the side of Zelensky, like, oh, we support Zelensky all the way, which, of course, just completely cuckold behavior, in my opinion. And, I mean, those types of leaders, I mean, they really want to have another big war happening, like a potential World War III to happen. And I just can't believe that. I really can't. So I guess in the context of the current climate, I guess it would be the Russians. Because if it's the Russians, then yeah, we'd be fucked. 100%, we'd be 100% fucked when it comes to that. Yeah, like Russia, Iran, and China. Yeah, those types of countries, of course. God, you snore really loudly, Boris. Jeez. Sorry, I'm just double checking on Telegram at the moment. Oh, I might as well just post my Telegram page, just in case if people haven't followed me on Telegram already. I'll just post that link in the chat as well. While I'm also waiting on questions coming through. 1 second. There is a question that came through, but I'll answer that in just a moment. 1 second. Where is that? Invite link. Copy link. Right, let me just get onto my YouTube on my phone and then see from there. I'll post that link in the chat. There we go. So there is, of course, the Telegram link in the chat. If you haven't followed me there already, I would highly recommend you doing so. That's where most of my updates for shows and all of that there. So give my Telegram a follow if you can with that. Anyway, Space writes this question. Chief Woody, do you think re-immigration summits and conferences are worth going to, or do we think we are too far out? REM policies occurring, or is it the whole policy a cope, like Mark Collett suggests? Sorry. Well, when it comes to the subject matter of remigration, of course, a lot of people do support the idea of it. The problem is that there's the reality that the face when it comes to remigration, and of course, Mark in that stream has pointed out a lot of good points. For instance, there's a lot of white people who are very liberal, or not necessarily liberal even. It's a case of they act friendly and are supportive of people who are not necessarily white or came here to the country, whether legally or illegally when it comes to that. Of course, they're not going to fully support remigration. Then there's the idea of course, the generations here in Britain. So we have a lot of fewer older people, and they're going to die out at some point. It sucks, but that is the reality. The old people are going to die out, and the ones who are going to take their place are the younger, non-white generation, and they will be taking over. So there's that. And from what we've seen in like past elections in the past, like general elections or even like local elections, a lot of times, in fact, especially here in Scotland, the SNP gets in most of the time. And from what I've seen, even people who just outright refuse to vote, the SNP still gets in. Why? Because there's a lot of areas who support the SNP. A lot of those areas in Glasgow or Edinburgh, mainly from what I remember seeing, are mainly non-white areas. So, I mean, again, there's many factors to deal with when it comes to this. So I'm not saying that remigration is not inevitable. I'm not saying that or anything like that at all. I agree with the idea of remigration. The problem is, of course, is the idea of the realities we will face when it comes to that fact. So uh, let's see. So I hope that answers your question when it comes to it with that. So uh, let's see. I think this from Chad Smash. I think we will be fine. We just need to pull our fingers out. I mean, I can see, yeah, where you're coming from with that. The problem, again, is that there's a lot of people who are very hedonistic and living too comfortable lives, like too comfortable with the lives that they're living in just now. And I think that also bears a bit of a problem. I mean, there's a lot of people. I've seen videos, right, of like Zoomers. I think they're Zoomers, or maybe like about my age or maybe slightly younger. Were asked the question, if a war broke out, and if it's like mandatory service that it's like you have to go in and register. There's no ifs or buts about it. You have to sign up to the army type of thing. Like a draft letter, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of these younglings, I sound like a boomer saying that. A lot of these like younger people were trying to make an argument about, well, that's against like their civil rights and all that. They can't exactly force people to get into the army. It's like, mate, like, how do you think people in World War II felt when it comes to participating with the drafts and all of that? How do you think that the men within World War One felt when you're doing stuff like that, and all the other previous wars, even prior to that? I mean, I've even heard stories in the past where people who ran the armies, back in the day, and if they attempted to leave or anything like that, then they would be executed for essentially like leaving like their service or whatnot, or at least trying to leave their service and whatnot. So yeah, so. I just fail to think that every Western European country can get demographically replaced, but without a single one pushing back. Well, I think people are pushing back on the idea. I think it's definitely being pushed back a lot, especially a lot with the I guess the normie crowd, you want to call them, with that. The Overton window is definitely shifting, and I think people are starting to see through it. Again, another problem is that you got the Sitnak groups who are in the way as the gatekeepers. So whenever you see groups like, say, PA or such, trying to point out the reality that what we're going through at the moment, you'll get groups like, well, not necessarily groups, but people like Nigel Farage being gatekeepers and just saying, oh no, don't look at these people, don't listen to them. Listen to people like me or Tommy Robinson or Reform UK and so on and so forth. Like complete gatekeepers essentially. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but again, there's too much people in the country who just don't really give a shit. There's a lot of people waking up, sure, definitely, but there's still a lot of people who are just still asleep and just very hedonistic. That might change, hopefully. I hope that does change. At the moment, though, that is the stone cold hard fact reality we're facing at the moment. So, but anyways, just checking some here. No, that should be fine like that. Actually, no worries. Because I'm sure. Actually, no, I don't really. Do I actually need that in this case, or because that's sharing the screen? No, I don't think I naturally need that, considering I've got nothing to share on the screen. So yeah, I'll just turn that off. There we go. Chaz Smash, do you think weed should be legal or illegal, and why? Right. Well, I'll start off by saying I've tried weed in the past. I haven't bought it, but I've tried it in the past. Last time I smoked it was about maybe I was right. So I'm 31 now, so I would have been maybe 24, 25 years old. And sure enough, like the problem what I did was I smoked it like a regular cigarette and not actually taking my time with it. That meant I was all whitey after smoking it. So yeah, it clearly wasn't for me when it comes to smoking weed with that. So it's a bit of a it's a bit of a difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but it's a bit of an odd thing to kind of go over when it comes to weed because I know there's a lot of people who are very, very divisive when it comes to it. There's a lot of people who are against it and a lot of people who are for it because the people say who are for it, there's a lot of health benefits when it comes to it. Some people say it might even be somewhat the cure to cancer. Um, I don't know when it comes to that. I mean, look, what I've seen when it comes to marijuana is that there's a lot of health defects in that case, especially if you're a lot younger. I think before the age of 25 or 26, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, it it kind of it kind of causes the idea of like in some way brain rot, not like in a literal sense, you like completely rots your brain, but it tends to make you like really stupid, and it tends, at least from what I've heard, because again, Dankula kind of covered that as well, although he's pretty pro marijuana from what I've seen. Um, I mean, see, I don't know when it comes to. I would. I think it's something that I would need to have a look into with that when it comes to marijuana. In my opinion, with it, I personally wouldn't use it. I mean, as I said, I've tried it before, and it's not really for me when it comes to it. So I personally wouldn't use it. But saying that, I actually don't know the answer to that. Whether or not if we should legalize it or or completely criminalize it when it comes to it. Jim, it slows brain development in children, as he says with that. I think, yeah, that was a point that was brought up in Danko's video, if I'm not mistaken. And from from what I've seen, there's a lot of like really young teenagers who are also smoking it as well. I mean, how you could tell, you can easily smell it. You can easily smell it from a mile away. So that's pretty bad. So I definitely agree with the idea that it should not be given to children, just like alcohol or cigarettes or anything like that at all. Um, in terms of, I'll need to have a further look into it to be honest when it comes to that. Because, like I said, I know it can be, it's like abortion, it can be a very divisive topic to cover when it comes to the ownership or usage of marijuana with it. Again, as I said, I've tried it before, I didn't like it, and I personally wouldn't use it. But I know there's people who do use it and they do it responsibly when it comes to that. So I really don't know. It's a bit of a tough one. It's a bit of a really tough one. Although saying that, I will say it definitely does hinder on society in a way because many people just tend to use it as like a stress reliever, but it definitely makes people less motivated from what I've seen and what I've heard of it. So there is definitely that. Lots of states in the USA it's legal. It seems to be the direction of travel. Yeah, I mean I know California is legal for that. I think even Idaho is no, not Idaho. Sorry, I think Ohio is another state that's legalized over there. And I know there's actually places here in Scotland that are trying to have. I don't know if they actually have prevented it, or maybe if it's actually in operation of like an actual store where you can actually buy marijuana when it comes to that. So let's see, motivated to do what? I smoke and work out daily. Well, that's fair. That's fair enough based in Scotland with that. From what I've heard, it's meant to be. It's supposed to stop the motivation to do like any work or anything like that at all. But that's what I've heard with it. I know. I think Dank said something entirely different. You're saying something entirely different when it comes to that base in Scotland, and that's completely fine with that. So it's not the weed; it's addictive personalities that they'll always find something to use. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Space hype and space. Have you gotten in on any of those UBI bucks? I'm assuming that's to do with like Bitcoin or something like that. I'll just double check that in a moment because if it is, there was a point I was thinking about maybe getting into it, but just never really. Excuse me, just never really got round to it when it comes to that. So. The amount of tax some states are making from it has generated millions. Yeah, that's another good point, actually. Yeah, so Scottish pilot plant UBI box. I've not actually heard of that. Let me just double check and see what that is. Scottish pilot plant UBI box. I've not actually heard of that before. So I can't really say for certain when it comes to that. Scotland moves closer to a basic income pilot, right? Scottish British will move the universal. Ah, I see. Right. I see. That's to do with like benefits when it comes to that. So yeah, so when it comes to that space, honestly, no, because I've worked when it comes to that. And that's not like a jab or anything like that at all. It's just, I mean, I think in the past I have when I was a little bit younger, but currently speaking, I've not delved into that recently or anything like that at all. So, anyways. Let's see. No, Scotland ran universal basic income trials where they just gave a bunch of people free money with no strings attached. Oh, then I completely disagree with that. Then I think that's another problem with society where people you're see the benefit system shouldn't be a hammock, right? The benefit system should be there if people really do need to use it, if they really need genuine help. But now what it's being used for is that people it's just as I said, it's just being used as a hammock to the point where people are getting lots and lots of money from this universal basic income. And people are looking at it and thinking, well, fuck, why do I need to go into work when I have but I think there was like something about like someone was not working, but they still ended up earning just under what $3,000 that month or something like that. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, how the hell did they manage that? And yeah, there's a lot of people who are looking at that thinking, well, fuck, fuck working. I might as well just use the benefit system so I can actually get a lot of money from there. And yeah, it's making people not get into work, and I completely disagree with that. I think it's actually a thing. I might have heard of this before, but I think it's definitely something that is being used for people to actually depend on the government more rather than actually dependent on themselves or family members or anything like that at all. And again, a lesser motivation to actually, to actually go out and actually get a job type of thing. But so yeah. Toff, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. If they legalize weed, it would put half the population of Liverpool out of business. Furlough was a dry run for UBI, in my opinion. Fair enough. Chaz Smash. Would Scottish independence lead to the breakup of the union? I think we've covered that on the show before, but yeah, I mean, if it's to do with Scottish independence, and if it's not going to the European Union, if it's strictly going to be an independent nation, then I would imagine so that yeah, it would be the idea of the not what the breakup of the entire British Union. Well, saying that, I don't think it would be the breakup of the whole union. I'm sure England, Wales, and Northern Ireland would still be connected and be a thing. But I think if other countries like Wales or Northern Ireland were to leave, then yeah, that would be the breakup of the union at that point. But so I would say maybe it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the official breakup, but it would definitely be the start of the breakup when it comes to that. So is that PA policy? It's not. It's not PA policy. It's definitely an opinion within the Scottish ranks within PA, or at least with PA Scotland. But it's certainly not like a policy type of thing. It's just based on the idea of like independence when it comes to, or even just like opinion pieces or anything like that at all. So when it comes to PA Scotland, there's many people who are pro-independence, but there's also other people who are very staunchly unionist. But the one thing that we all agree on is of course maintaining the Scottish culture and heritage and all of that. So we all focused on that, and if of course if it all succeeds, then we move on, of course, to another topic, being of course Scottish independence or anything like that at all. So no, it's not a PA policy necessarily, or even entirely at all. It's just an opinion within PA Scotland. Because like I said, there's people in PA Scotland who are pro-independence, and some PA Scotland members who are very pro-unionist. So, Black Pigeon Pill, what's Moody's thoughts on the Celtic Confederation? Got mates who think this is necessary to leave the anti-white policies of London, Westminster, and the Anglo-Gang sphere. If this is to do with like the Republic of Ireland, I mean, again, it's I mean, they can try if they want to, but it's at the same time, it's like, well, who do you think is actually bringing in all of these foreigners into Ireland? It's a lot of these well, again, it's not. I don't want to call them even. It's. I think they definitely need to check and see who's actually involved with bringing in all of these foreigners into the countries and all that. And maybe even while they're at it, I think a lot of the Irish people need to realize who actually started the famine. You know, the famine back in the day. Because I'll tell you something, and I remember seeing this on Red Ice TV with Lara and Henrik. It certainly wasn't the British monarch. Maybe they had a part in it, but they were the ones that caused the whole famine when it comes to that. So it's definitely something they will need to have a further look into, in my opinion, with that. So, Exile Viking, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. James L. writes, Scotland wouldn't be independent because they'd immediately join the EU. Well, see, that's the thing with the Scottish independence talk, is that, yeah, there's a lot of people in Scotland who want independence, but then they want to rejoin the European Union, which completely just defeats the purpose of Scotland being an independent nation. Because if Scotland were to be independent, then it needs to be independent. It can't move from one union to another. It just completely defeats the whole purpose. But as we all know, that the Scottish nationalists, quote unquote, are not even nationalists. They're just LARPers who are trying to subvert nationalism within Scotland. Let me see. Space. Most important policy is keeping our nations ethically secure. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Exactly that. Consecutive UK governments have been absolutely fake and gay when it comes to preserving the people they supposedly represent. Well, yes, it's been like that for years. In fact, you can even say it's gotten even worse in today's times with that. So, definitely. Can't believe it's almost 10-7 already. That's crazy, that. Exile Viking writes, the ironic thing is Scotland never was in the EU. The UK was, so this rejoin nonsense they spew is absurd. Oh, that's actually a really good point, Exile Viking. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, it was Britain or the United Kingdom that was part of the EU, but Scotland wasn't. Scotland wasn't part of the EU, technically speaking. So yeah, it's pretty absurd for these Scottish politicians to say that Scotland needs to rejoin the EU, despite the fact Scotland was never technically a member of the EU to begin with. We were part of one union, and we were also members of the European Union when we were part of the British Union. So, anyways, I'll give it another 5. We're almost towards the end of the show tonight when it comes at the moment. Any other questions that come through just now? Anything at all? And I'll be happy to answer them. Like I said, I'll do the show for about an hour, and I'll end it just about. Fat is my. Damn it. All right, one sec. Well, 1 second. Sorry, I'm just having a quick look at some updates on Telegram. See what's going on essentially. So, Right. Okay. Just checking if there's been any updates or anything with that at all, and it seems to be quiet at the moment, which is fine and dandy. Exile Viking writes, more correct would be for Holyrood to say Scotland would join as a new member. I mean, yeah, technically speaking, but again, it just defeats the whole purpose of Scotland becoming an independent nation, because what they're basically saying is, oh, Scotland needs to move from one union to another, which why even have us be an independent nation to begin with is beyond me. Black Pitch and Pill writes, what's Moody's take on the dustbin fire that was Zelensky's appearance at the Oval Office? I'm pretty sure we covered that on the last episode, but long story short, it was a bit of a shit show for Zelensky. I mean, Zelensky was acting all like the Ukrainian people are being oppressed by the Russian regime and all of this, and we need more money. We need to retaliate back towards the Russians. And again, say what you want about Trump and JD Vance and all of that, but but they were putting their foot down and saying, look, you're playing the game with the Russians and trying to start World War III, and we're trying to prevent that from happening. Like, stop with the bullshit, and and trying to negotiate with like a ceasefire or like peace treaty or something to that effect. And of course, Zelensky was not having it, and you see all of the European politicians who are just completely cucking towards Zelensky, like, oh, we support you and all of this and that. Again, just trying to start another world war or something like that. But yeah, it's just complete nonsense. And again, say what you want about Trump and JD Vance, but Zelensky was put in his place when that happened. So he really does snore. Yeah, he's pretty tired. He's a tired little puppy. So, well, he's not technically a puppy now, but yeah. So snoozing doggo most likely. Yeah, that's Otis. He's snoring in the background. So, how does Scotland stay so white even in current year? Is it too cold and wet for the? Well, yeah, I think Scotland is still technically a 92 point something percent white majority here in Scotland, which, I mean, a lot of people would look at that and think, well, I mean, that's still a good thing. We're still a white majority. But the problem is that that's going to decrease slowly but surely to a much it might not be maybe as bad as what we've seen in places like England or maybe even Wales, but it's definitely decreasing, especially with the birth rate here in Scotland is pretty bad when it comes to the white population. Although there's a lot of white people who actually want to be parents and want to produce children or start families, but they can't because of the current system we're living in just now that kind of prevents that from happening. So it's still, I mean, Scotland is still a white majority country, but it is slowly decreasing. I mean, a lot of people say, well, again, that's still a majority, so we're still good, right? It's like, yeah, we're a majority now, but that's going to decrease very slowly. That's the point. We don't want that to decrease. We want that to maintain or even be still be a white majority country, because Scotland is a white majority country, always has been and always will be. We still want to maintain that. It'd be the same thing if it was India. We want Indians to be the majority or the people of India. We want the Chinese to be the majority or the people of China, again, so on and so forth. So, yeah, Otis has had a pretty hard day. He's all tired out. I guarantee you, though, as soon as I finish the stream tonight and I put everything away, Otis will be like up as a button or bright as a button, I think the old expression is. But yeah, but he's doing all right. He's just having a little snooze at the moment with that. So 5-2. Right, well, that's 5-2, guys. As I said, the stream is going to be on for about an hour. I'll just end it there if you guys don't mind. I know it's relatively short, but again, nothing really else came up in terms of like articles and such, but I hope you guys don't mind. I will be back this week. I'll be back probably either Thursday or Friday. this week at 5:30, maybe 6 p.m. I'll keep you guys updated on Telegram and also on X if you want to follow me on there with that. 1 second from Exile Bacon. There is one Arab nation which the Arabs are the minority due to guest workers and foreigners living there. Would that be Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, or is that maybe another nation I'm thinking of? Because I mean, Saudi Arabia, I can imagine there's a lot of guests outside people working there, but Dubai, is Dubai located in Saudi Arabia? Or no, is Dubai actually? Fuck, let me just have a. I always keep thinking that Dubai is like a city and not necessarily a country. Wait a minute, Dubai. Let me just double check. Most populous city in the United Arab Emirates and the capital of the Emirate of Dubai. Ah, right. So it is a city, right? Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, Arab Emirates. Yeah, I just read that on my phone there just now. Thanks, enjoy the show. Sorry for being late. No, you're quite fine, Chaz Smash. Don't worry about it. You haven't missed much, to be honest with you, when it comes to that. So, but yeah, as I said, I will be back this week on either Thursday or Friday. I'll keep you guys posted and updated. And I don't know if I'll have that guest on the show then, but as I said, I'll keep you guys posted and updated when the time comes with that. So, but I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's episode, and definitely follow me, catch up soon, Chief. Yeah, same to yourself, William Wallace too. Thank you very much, and Budgie Burger. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, definitely follow me on other platforms like X or Telegram for any updates. And yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. If you want to, again, I'll just another shameless gruff plug, I guess. If you want to send a shekel or two with my PayPal, it's still up there as a pinned comment or down below in the description. If you want to send in a donation or two, you can do so if you want to. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching the show. I'm just going to see if I can find an outro song. Well, I'll probably play the same. I might as well make that the ending theme for the show. Right. I'm going to see if I can try and pause that. What's that? Pause that. Right, there we go. Back there. There we go. Excellent. Is it that one? Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, right. Well, I just sorted that out just now, and of course, also another thing I also keep on forgetting to mention on the show. JB, Serena JB, thank you very much for watching the stream. I appreciate you being here. Well, of course, and also thank you for again. So, hope you come back for another episode. But, anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next episode, either Thursday or Friday. Keep you guys updated. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your week when it comes, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all, and good night. Take care.